Internship is all value inside. I'm almost done.
Well, hello everyone. Um, I hope you're here for the 3D modeling course. If I guess it's fine if you're not, since we have enough space here. Um, but anyway, first of all, I'm trying to do a hybrid setup, so try to make sure that everything is working both here and online. So apologies if there are any technical issues. It's been a bit tricky today with this. So let me start by introducing the people in charge of the course. My name is Ken. I'm a postdoc or researcher in the 3D Geoinformation group. I will be giving you about half of the lessons. There's also Hugo, who you know from the Digital Terrain Modeling course, if you're from the Master in Geomatics. And Ravi, he was also involved in the DTM course in a couple lessons. And in addition to that, there's Özge Tufan, who's student assistant and will be able to help you with the assignments. And I wanted to ask you, are you all from the Master in Geomatics, or is anyone else from a different program, maybe? Yes?
I'm from the MSc Mate in Amsterdam, but it's like, yeah, the main courses are there, but this is elective.
Okay, perfect. And you're following the course formally or just listening in? Okay. Yeah, well, it's indeed mainly for the Master in Geomatics, but everyone is welcome to join. The contents of the course are more or less about how the built environment is modeled in 3D. So it's not a sort of a generic 3D modeling course. It's very much focused on buildings, on terrain, on the sort of things that we deal with in the Master of Geomatics. The course has a few different parts. So we start with something about fundamentals and the concepts behind 3D modeling of the built environment. Then most of the course is focused on different data models and data structures. So there are many possible ways in which you can represent the 3D environment. There's one specific lesson about how to reconstruct a city in level of detail 2. So that's more or less to put everything in practice and so that you can put together some of the things that you have learned during the course. And at the end, we have a couple lessons on how to do conversions. So we will see many different kinds of 3D representations. So how to go from one to the other, because each one of them has advantages and disadvantages. And we have an applications lesson at the end. So more or less a list of resources that you can follow. This course is relatively new. So there was a 3D modeling course in the past, but in 2019 and 2020 with the new DTM course, we shuffled things around and we created basically entirely new materials for the course. Things were quite rough, but we were quite happy with the results, nevertheless. In 2020-2021, we focused on improving all of the materials, and now we think they're good enough to actually assemble them into a 3D modeling book, especially for this course. But we're still further improving the materials as we go, more or less. So we will put everything online shortly before the lesson. Right now you have the first 4 lessons available for the first 2 weeks. But yeah, there are still some rough edges, and any feedback that you have is very much appreciated, both content-wise and also if you find typos or any grammar issues, anything in the 3D book. The formal prerequisites of the course. So for those in the Master of Geomatics, the 2 recommended ones are like a GEO1000, so any kind of programming in any language is okay. And GEO1002, or some basic knowledge of GIS, like the theory behind GIS, not only like clicking buttons in ArcGIS. The relationship between this course and GEO1015 is that more or less GEO1015, so the digital terrain modeling course, does like a 2.5D analysis, mostly focused on terrains, like with for every point on the ground you have 1 elevation basically, and this is a full 3D course where we focus mostly on how to model objects. So that's not mandatory, but it would be great if you had it already. The course, similar to digital terrain modeling, is based on blended learning. So the idea is that in your own time you can watch the videos that we have prepared for you. We have tried to make short videos, sort of 10-minute summaries of the most difficult concepts, or a summary of the lesson overall. You read the materials, which will be 1 chapter from the book per lesson. And most importantly is to work on assignments. So the idea is that you spend more time doing things and less time reading and passively listening. So you might wonder, what are these hours for? And the idea is to use them as contact hours. You can do everything from the course in your own time, but here, like with this course introduction, I'm able to talk to you, but also we can explain to you the homework assignments. We can give you feedback on the assignments. We can give you feedback on the exam. We can discuss like common issues, like if many of you contact us like about the same sort of question from the homework assignments, we can sort of gather all the information and tell you like a lot of people are making this mistake and so on, to try to help you get on the right path. We are happy to solve general programming questions for the assignments. And yeah, so that's 2 hours twice a week on Monday and Wednesday for the labs. For most of us, like in the Master of Geomatics, it's usually in the Faculty of Architecture, but this is the best that I could manage to get with like a decent size, good ventilation, and for the number of students. So only for the first week we're here. Afterwards, we are in the Faculty of Architecture in rooms A and B, usually. And in addition, from next week, because you will get homework 1 explained to you on Monday. So from that Thursday, you are able to talk to Oscar in the GeoLab on Thursdays at 10:30 until 12:30, more or less. And any other time, you can just ask us on Discord, and we are happy to answer. It will just take longer. During the contact hours, we will be online, and we can answer immediately. After that, whenever we have the chance to do it. So because of the COVID situation, we have been discussing a few different ways in which we can do this. And the idea is to do more or less hybrid labs. Not sure if you have seen this piece of news. It was very much viral like a month ago. But the WHO was saying that about half of Europe was going to be infected with Omicron within the next several weeks. So we are more or less assuming that at least some students will not be able to attend during parts of the course. I was actually contacted by one student who is not able to attend because she has COVID right now. So we will try to make sure that everything is available. The idea is to make everything live streamed, preferably. But in case there are technical issues, like we are actually having some technical issues today, the streaming stopped working just before the lesson started, and I just had a backup. But in case the stream doesn't work, we will just record the lesson and it will be available later. So in case you're feeling symptoms or if you just don't feel comfortable coming here, don't worry, just connect from your home. And in case you're not able to be there for the contact hours or for the scheduled time, don't worry, we will have everything recorded and you can check it afterwards at home. Yeah, so this is more or less some advice on how to make the most of the course. The idea is that the course schedule is flexible, but if you keep up with it, it's going to be better. If you're able to study lessons in advance, it is better because we can use the contact hours to address specific issues or specific questions. If you have any doubts, just ask questions either during the lab or post something on Discord. At the end of every book chapter, we have a list of suggested questions, which are more or less to test your knowledge of the contents of the chapter. So check if you are able to answer them, and if you're not able to answer them, just tell us and we can discuss, or if you're unsure about your answers. We have added some external references in each chapter. You can read one or two of them if you have the time. But mainly, the idea is that you spend more time doing the assignments rather than just listening to us or reading the materials. This is the course schedule, so we will have 7 weeks of lessons. As I said, like half of them will be given by me, so the ones marked with K here. H is Hugo and R is Ravi, so for the first 2 weeks I will be the main lecturer here. Then you will get a few lessons from Hugo and then from Ravi. We will start with the lesson for today, which is more about the concepts and the fundamentals for the course, so trying to get you up to speed on these things so that you can understand the material better. And afterwards, we will focus on different data models and data structures. If you are familiar with last year's course, we have flipped some things around, mostly because we want to do certain assignments. So like we moved the GMaps, CMaps lecture more towards the beginning of the course because the first homework assignment will be based on that. And like the reconstruction comes a bit after. For the assignments, so the assignments are based on programming. It's using C++ and some open source libraries. If you don't feel too comfortable with C++, we are here to help you, so just come to the lab and we are happy to have a look. Each of the programming assignments will be worth 20%. So for this week, we have created an assignment 0, which is not really marked, and it's mostly the preparation that you need to do the assignment. So how to install like an IDE that works with C++, like compiler, debugger, getting everything working. And from next week, the idea is to start with homework assignment 1, which will be available and explained on Monday next week. And that one will be used with GMaps and triangulation, so taking a 3D model and triangulating it and exporting it. The second assignment will be enriching the 3D back. So the 3D back is the nationwide Dutch dataset that we have created in the 3D geoinformation group. And the idea is that you take that dataset, you do some computations on it so that you can understand how 3D city models work, and then you put the results back into the 3D back, like computing maybe the volume or something else about the buildings. And finally, we will do something with BIM, so building information modeling, standard that is widely used in construction and design. And we will process like detailed building models with constructed solid geometry. The idea is that you have more or less 2 weeks for every assignment. So on Monday, you can start with assignment 1 and you deliver it 2 weeks later. Then assignment 2 is available on week 4 and assignment 3 on week 6. There are 2 exams in this course. There's a midterm and a final exam. the midterm is meant to be a very low pressure thing, so it's only worth 5% of your final mark. It's more there to help you to prepare for the final exam, so you know what sort of questions are going to be asked, and it will cover lessons from 1.1 to 1.4, so from now until the first lesson of week 4, and that will happen on March the 2nd. And then there's a final exam, which covers all of the lessons of the course. It's on April 14th at 9 o'clock, and it will be worth 35% of your final mark. In order to pass the course, you need to have a weighted average of 50% in the exams, and we will define the exact logistics based on the COVID situation in a few weeks. So if things are terrible, maybe we do it online. If things are a little bit better, we might do it in person. In case something happens, you can do the receipts. So in the next quarter, there will be one receipt for both exams together, which will be worth 40%. So it substitutes the mark of the 2 exams. And there will be one receipt per assignment, which most likely will be something similar to the assignment that you do now, but maybe we will change some tasks. And that all of that will be due on June 17th. So both the exam and the due date for the receipt of the assignments. Yeah, so we don't use Brightspace in this course. I hope you're happy with that decision. We don't really like Brightspace. I like. So everything is available on the course website. You can check it there. We'll be posting some news whenever anything is uploaded, whenever the marks are there, whenever the assignments are available, and so on. And on Monday, it would be great if you can check the schedule, so the main page of the course website, to see if there's anything happening live here. So we would like to have like maybe one activity per week to have some more interactivity here with you. But mostly, as we said, like the contact hours are to work together and to help you. So if there's nothing scheduled to be live, and you are doing okay with the assignments, there's no need to come here. It's up to you. Yeah. For questions, you can ask us in person anytime during the contact hours or Discord. If you have a sort of a general question about the assignments or the course that everyone could benefit from, it could be better if you just post it in the GEO1004 text channel so that everyone can see it. If you have some sort of personal issue or a very specific issue related to only your assignment, maybe, just email us or send us a Discord direct message. And yeah, so the idea for today is to just go to the GEO1004 website and you can start studying today's lesson. There's a short video with an introduction to the topic and a book chapter, which is chapter 1 of the 3D book. You can get started on homework 0, so make sure you have all the installation in your computer to do the homework assignments. And if you have any questions about that and nothing is working, just let me know. I will be here until the end of the 2 hours. And yeah, if you do these 2 things and you have extra time, you can get started maybe on Wednesday's lesson. That would be great. So for Wednesday, there will be no formal lecture. I will still be here in case you have issues with installation, preparing for the C++ assignments. Also, if you don't feel too comfortable with the C++ assignments, I link to some tutorials, so you can just follow them to make sure that you understand the basic concepts or to make sure that your workflow with C++ is working fine. If you have any questions about the tutorials, I'm also happy to answer questions here. And yeah, on next Monday, we will have a guest lecture by Nadine. She's a PhD student in our group, and she's doing like computational fluid mechanics. So sort of an application of 3D modeling, and it's actually dealing with how COVID spreads based on 3D modeling. And we thought it would be interesting to have this within the course, so that will be on Monday. And also, Ravi will introduce you to homework number 1. and that will be in room B in the Faculty of Architecture. So yeah, that's it for me. Not sure if you have any questions about the course, about the setup. Yeah, sure.
How big are the groups for the assignment?
Sorry?
The group sizes for the assignment.
They will be done mostly in pairs. I think for assignments 1 and 2, and for 3 we will decide a bit later, maybe 2 or 3, because it's a bit more difficult. Yeah, sure.
Is the like the written and final exam, is it like open book or closed book?
I think it will be open book. If we do it in person, it might be only like a printed material similar to the digital terrain modeling course. If it's online, we most likely will do it fully open, so you can Google or anything, and the questions will be more also open, solving things. But yeah, we will define the logistics a little bit later also, based on the situation. Yeah, sure.
So in terms of the lectures, they're all on the videos and there will be none in person?
We will do some short lectures, maybe half an hour or maximum 1 hour. They will be announced in advance on the course website. And in case of anything, they will be live streamed and recorded. So it's not mandatory to be here. They're more like supplementary material for the course. But everything important is online in the course website.
Is there a minimum grade for the tests? Or is
Yes.
the weighted average is 50%? Like
There's a weighted average, but yeah, no minimum for both of them. So yeah, weighted average, so 5 plus 35.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is more or less to avoid any kind of cheating on the assignments. So just making sure that you know the minimum, but the exam is not supposed to be too difficult either. Any other questions, maybe? So yeah, if you can get started on the first lesson and the homework number 0, I will be here. Thanks.